So they say all good things must come to an end. So will you join me on this, the final foray into Star Trek Picard, the final ever Star Trek The Next Generation episode, Picard's Swan Song. Let's take this emotional journey together.
Make it so, Lieutenant.
So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to this here, my final review episode for Star Trek Picard. But not my final review episode for Star Trek. No, I will be here for Star Trek Discovery. I will be here for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I will be here for the Section 31 movie and whatever else is given to us in the world of Star Trek. But here we are today talking about this final episode of Star Trek Picard entitled The Last Generation. So, what an emotional journey this season has been. After 2 lackluster seasons of Picard, we finally get a season worthy of The Next Generation. Yes, and this episode here goes without saying. I cannot fault this episode. Okay, not quite as strong as the episode before because this episode is far more action orientated. But a wonderful finale we are given. We are indeed. As we know, Earth's defences are crumbling. The Borg fleet of Starfleet vessels are attacking Starfleet base. Picard and crew are on board the USS Enterprise NCC 1701D, heading towards Jupiter, where the Borg cube is hidden amongst the gases. 7 of 9 with her motley crew are on board the USS Titan, holding back the Borg on there. They overtake the ship, they take the Titan back, and they start defending Earth using the cloak device and escaping the connectivity with the Borg. The Borg cube hidden. Jack is on board. Picard, Riker, Worf have to head on board the Borg vessel to try and locate Jack, try and close down the beacon that is being sent that's controlling Earth's forces. Picard finds Jack. He's been turned into a Borg. But before this, they find other Borg drones that are dead, dying, decaying. They're being used by the Queen. The Queen is utilising their bodies to sustain herself. The Queen, again, voiced by Alice Krieg, I was going to say then. Yes, fantastic. A fantastic link to Star Trek and the Borg of past and what has come and what has been. The story has almost gone full circle and fantastic in what it does. The episode is emotional. The episode is strong. The episode is action-packed. It's very good stuff. It's very good TV and a great finale to Star Trek. There's callbacks to previous Star Treks of before. We get guest appearances by the likes of Tim Russ, the voice of Walter Koenig as the son of Chekhov. Fantastic, brilliant. There's nothing in this episode I can really critique, as in say that it's bad, criticise. There's nothing I can say. There's a nice nod to Star Wars. The Enterprise has to enter into the Borg cube, a la the Death Star run at the end of The Return of the Jedi. And Data spurts out the line, "Here goes nothing," which is a line said by Lando Calrissian in The Return of the Jedi. It was a nice little nod because inevitably there's going to be some talk about how Star Trek has ripped off Star Wars with that, but it was nicely done. It was great. It's unfortunate they didn't do the chasing of the fire after the ship as the ship was coming out, but no. This was a grand episode. It was a grand episode. the emotion was on the table. It looked like we might lose someone, but we didn't. No one died. And I'm quite glad of that, actually. You know, it was nice to see them all round the table again at the very end playing cards, akin to All Good Things, the last episode of the TV series. It was nice. Obviously, we get 7 of 9. She gets promoted to captain. We get a nice flashback to Captain Shaw as a hologram, giving her final evaluation. She thought it was going to be bad. It wasn't. And an emotional scene it was as well, because Captain Shaw was a fantastic character and I would love to have seen more of him. The programme does go on to set up a future show. Yes, it does. On board the USS Enterprise G, the newly renamed Titan. And there is an after credits scene at the end, if you hung around to watch that. And we see the return of John Delancey as Q. Is he dead? Let's not think so linear. It's sci-fi, they can write anything. So for me, this was a magnificent episode. It was strong, it was vibrant, it was fun. It kept me on the edge of my seat. It had fantastic musical score cue-backs, as every episode has, harking back to Star Trek of old. I suppose my only complaint is the Borg stuff, considering the Borg stuff that occurred at the very end of Season 2 of Star Trek. But I guess you could say that that's just an offshoot, a different part of the Borg that's off protecting Earth from whatever they're protecting Earth from out there. But it's a shame that didn't come into play. And in a sense, it was almost like it was forgotten. Or like they wanted to forget that side of things. I don't know, but there we go. Every cast member had a moment to shine. They all did. To see Data, Brent Spiner, you know, okay, Data died at the end of Season 1 of Picard, and to bring him back again, maybe a bit controversial, but it was lovely to see that Pinocchio journey come to an end. That he's finally human. He's finally dealing with being human and dealing with those emotions that come with it properly. Finally, the opportunity for him to complete and get to where he wanted to be. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic. Wolf falling asleep in the chair. You know, he's old. He's getting old. And it's playing on that age thing, which is fantastic. Geordie, emotional moment for Geordie where he has to make the decision with Beverly, and it's just done via a look as to whether they should open fire and put at risk her son and the father of her son, Picard. Deanna Troi were being separated from Riker, and Riker making that decision to stay there and give Picard one more minute. Picard gave him a lifetime. The least he can do is give one more minute. It was fantastically written. This is how Star Trek should be. This is how Picard should have been when it came back. You could tell this group of people, they're a family and they've come back together and they love their time together. They all work off of each other so well. They bounce off of one another. There's so much chemistry amongst this cast that it is sad. Even though it was a happy ending, it was a bittersweet ending, because we know that we're not going to see these people together again. And in that brings the emotion, brings the tears, brings the realisation that we are getting old and we have to step away from stuff that we like and stuff that we do. And, you know, we've boldly gone on a fantastic journey. We boldly have. The future's unwritten. Who knows what Star Trek will bring? Hopefully it will bring a show. It will, because they've teased it. Set on board the USS Titan, now the USS Enterprise, with that crew. 7 of 9. Jerry Ryan leading the way. Fantastic. What's not to love? The return of John Delancey. Hopefully he gets bigger part than what he did in Picard Season 2. They'll work it out. They'll work it out in the writing that it's not, you know, we're thinking a linear manner and he's omnipotent, so he could be there even after his death. It all works. It all works. Anyway, what I'm more interested in is what you think about this episode down below, whether it worked for you, whether it didn't work for you. Was it emotional? Did you shed a tear? Come on, you can admit it here to me. I had to hold back. I certainly did. There's no denying that. It was wonderful, wonderful stuff. And again, I hope you join me when we get to Strange New World Season 2, when we get to that final season of Star Trek Discovery. Whatever else the future brings us for the world of Star Trek, it's turned around, it's coming back. It is here. Star Trek is back. This is AJ. Thank you for joining me. I have to go, unfortunately. All good things must come to an end.